Welcome to a quick Bears Abroad how-to on how to get into Bears Abroad and then start reviewing student applications. We're going to look at how to do that two different ways. So the first step is to just get logged on to Bears Abroad. So it is BearsAbroad.baylor.edu. While this is pulling up, this is a shared form for study abroad and missions. So when we're scrolling through things in a little bit, there might be a ton of options and you don't need to look at those. We're just looking at the ones that say Baylor Missions. First thing is just log in. Log in over here with your Bear ID and your password. And while it's pulling up, it should pull you up to an administrative page. If for some reason it doesn't though, you can just click the little home button over here and go to your select the administrative page. But it should look like this. On this page, there's only one thing we're looking at right now, and it's this little shared queries button over here. This is where you're going to be able to find the list of students who have started applications for your trip. So on mine right now, there's only these two lists. We didn't want to put too many and have to spend a lot of time searching through everything, but you will be able to find your specific trip list over here. It'll have the year you're going, where you're going, your team name, what time of year you're going. So you'll be able to search through, find your exact trip, and just look at that information. For now, we're going to just use this 2018 spring break trip. So it is a huge file. Yours will not look this big, but we just wanted something to be able to play around in. So when you select your list, this is what shows up. This is everyone who started an application for your trip. So it shows you your name, but really that's all it shows you right now. So to get in and see who's done what on the application, you look at the screen and you go to the Progress Audit button and then select Pre-Decision. There's going to be a screen that pops up in just a moment that gives you some options of how you want to narrow down your search. So say you're only interested in knowing if they've finished the trip agreement form, the student conduct form, and let's see, the AMSA application. That's all you're caring about. So you hit next. For each organization, it'll be different on what you select there. So these are just random ones. When this is pulling up, it now shows you everyone who's applied and what they've submitted. So you can see this first trip up here is not the AMSA trip, so they don't have this information filled out over here. But it shows you that they've submitted their trip agreement form and their student conduct consent form. If you see someone on your list who says, oh, they haven't finished the form that they needed to submit, and you know they're going on the trip, so you can just select their names and go down to the very bottom, and you're able to send out a mass email from here just saying, hey, don't forget, the deadline's coming up next week and you still haven't submitted this. Please do it as soon as possible so you can go on the trip. From this page, you can also look at each application individually. So if you see that, everyone on your team, let's get back up to this top one, a little bit smaller. You see that everyone on your team has completed everything and you want to start approving and reviewing their applications, you can select their name and it brings you to an overview of their application. On here, you really only need to look at one little tab, and it's the questionnaires tab. On this page, it brings you to what forms they've been asked to submit and which ones they have actually submitted. So we'll look at just one of these. So it shows you Student Org Missions application was submitted on October 20th, 2017, which means that you can click in here and look at their answers. If they haven't submitted it, you can't see it, but here you can go through, you can look, you can start reading all of their answers, making sure that they're going to be a good fit for your trip. So that's all we do on this part. So you can go through this way for every one of your student applicants, or you can go back to your administrative home screen and pull one big list with all of your applicants so you can review it all at once. To do that, you're going to go back to the shared queries and find your list again. And on this screen, instead of going to the progress audit, you're going to go to options and then create report. On here, you're going to leave this first half the same, as well as this outputs part. You're not going to change anything until you get down here to the questionnaires and questions again. So there's a set list of some things that you are sure you want to click, but otherwise it's a little bit up to you. Most of these, though, are for study abroad, so you can just overlook those. And when you get down here to the BU missions or domestic, that's where you want to start clicking around. So for this one, I'm just going to click a few, say the engineering and international. Again, it'll be specific to what trip you're actually going on. And then you go down to the bottom to pull the report. You have 3 different ways to get the content. You can either open it as a new window, you can export it into Excel, or you can export it as essay content. For Excel, you have to select both of these. It comes as one kind of package deal. It's hard to read the information if you do this though, so it's usually easiest if you just either do new window or just let it take over this screen. So do whatever you want to do, hit results, and it's pulling up the next page now. This just makes it a little bit easier for you to review everyone all at once. So I'm going to take a minute since it's a pretty big document. But what you'll see when this next page comes up is at the top kind of a key for what everything is down below, what questions were asked and in what order they were asked. So that's what you see up here on the top. So when we get down to the bottom, we'll see that each field has a 2, 1, 1, 1, all that good stuff. And then you get down to who's applied for what team. And then you start getting into the actual questions. So it shows you, all the information that they put on the international application. This is not a person that was going to the engineering trip, so they don't have the 1-1 information. But you can go through this way all at once, look at everyone's applications, and can start making notes on who you're planning on accepting or waitlisting for the trip. We will send out a little bit closer to that time how we're wanting you to get those responses back to us, so it's nothing you need to worry about yet. Right now, this is all you need to know about Bears Abroad. Thanks.